Welcome to the Folktale Project. This is Dan Charles. This week, we're reading more stories from Carl Sandburg, and today, we're going to start on a new section, the third section of Rutabaga Pigeons. This section is entitled 5 Stories about Hat-Track the Horse, 6 Pigeons, 3 Wild Babylonian Baboons, 6 Umbrellas, and Bozo the Button Buster. This is the last section that we'll cover, so today, tomorrow, and next week. And then we'll take a break from Sandburg. But until then, this is How Ragbag Mammy Kept Her Secret While the Wind Blew Away the Village of Hatpins. There was a horse-faced man in the village of Cream Puffs. People called him Hat-Track the Horse. The skin stretched tight over his bones. Once a little girl said, "His eyes look like lightning bugs lighting up the summer night coming out of 2 little doors." When Hat-Track the Horse took off his hat, he reached his hand around behind and hung the hat on a shoulder bone sticking out. When he wanted to put on his hat, he reached his hand around and took it off from where it was hanging on the shoulder bone sticking out behind. One summer, Hat-Track said to Peter Potato Blossom Wishes, "I'm going away up north and west in the Rutabaga country to see the towns different from each other. Then I will come back east as far as I went west and south as far as I went north till I am back again where my little pal Peter Potato Blossom Wishes lives in the village of Cream Puffs." So he went away, going north and west and coming back east and south till he was back again in his hometown, sitting on the front steps of his little red shanty fixing a kite to fly. "Are you glad to come back?" asked Peter. "Yes, this is home. This is the only place where I know how the winds act up so I can talk to them while I fly a kite." "Tell me what you saw and how you listened and if they handed you any nice packages." "They handed me packages all right, said Hat-Track the Horse. "Away far to the west I came to the village of Hatpins," he went on. "It is the place where they make all the hat pins for all the hats to be pinned on in the Rutabaga country. They asked me about the village of Cream Puffs and how the winds are here because the winds here blow so many hats off that the village of Hatpins sells more hat pins to the people here than anywhere else. There is an old woman in the village of Hatpins. She walks across the town and around the town every morning and every afternoon. On her back is a big rag bag. She never takes anything out of the rag bag. She never puts anything in. That is, nobody ever sees her put anything in or take anything out. She has never opened the rag bag telling people to have a look and see what's in it. She sleeps with the rag bag for a pillow. So it is always with her, and nobody looks into it unless she lets them, and she never lets them. Her name? Everybody calls her Ragbag Mammy. She wears aprons with big pockets, and though she never speaks to big grown-ups people, she is always glad to meet little growing people, boys and girls. And especially, most of all, she likes to meet boys and girls who say, "Gimme," once like that, or "Gimme, gimme," twice like that, or "Gimme, gimme, gimme," 3 times, or "Gimme, gimme, 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 gimme," more times than we can count. She likes to meet the gimmies because she digs deep into her pockets and brings out square chocolate drops and round chocolate drops and chocolate drops shaped like a half-moon barber pole candy with red and white stripes wrapped all around it. All-day suckers so long they last not only all day, but all this week and all next week. And different kinds of jackstones. Some that say chink-chink on the sidewalks and some that say teensy-weensy chink-chink when they all plunge together on the sidewalk. And sometimes, if one of the gimmies is crying and feeling bad, she gives the gimmie a doll only as big as a child's hand, but the doll can say the alphabet and sing little Chinese Assyrian songs. "Of course," said Hat-Track the Horse, reaching his hand around to see if his hat was hanging on behind. "Of course, you have to have sharp ears and listen close up and be nice when you are listening if you are going to hear a doll say the alphabet and sing little Chinese Assyrian songs." "I could hear them," said Peter Potato Blossom Wishes. "I am a nice listener. I can hear those dolls sing the little Chinese Assyrian songs." "I believe you, little pal of mine," said Hat-Track. "I know you have the ears and you know how to put your ears so you hear. Of course, every morning and every afternoon when Ragbag Mammy walks across the town and around the town in the village of Hatpins, people ask her what is in the rag bag on her back. And she answers, "It is a nice day we are having," or, "I think the rain will stop when it stops raining, don't you?" Then if they ask again and beg and plead, "What is in the rag bag? What is in the rag bag?" she tells them, "When the wind blows away the village of Hatpins and blows it so far away it never comes back, then I will tell you what is in the rag bag." One day the wind came along and blew the village of Hatpins loose, and after blowing it loose carried it off high in the sky. And the people were saying to each other, "Well, now we're going to hear what Ragbag Mammy tell us what's in the rag bag." And the wind kept blowing, carrying the village of Hatpins higher and farther and farther and higher. And when at last it went so high it came to a white cloud, the hatpins in the village all stuck out and fastened the village to the cloud, so the cloud couldn't blow it any farther. And after a while, they pulled the hatpins out of the cloud, and the village dropped right back down where it was before. And Ragbag Mammy goes every evening and every afternoon with the ragbag on her back across the town. And sometimes people say to her, "The next time the wind blows us away, the next time the wind blows us so far there won't be any cloud to fasten hatpins in, and you will have to tell us what is in the ragbag." And Ragbag Mammy just answers, "Yes, yes, yes, yes," and goes on her way, looking for the next boy or girl to say "gimme" once like that, or "gimme, gimme" twice like that, or "gimme, gimme, 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 gimme" more times than we can count. And if a child is crying, she digs into her pockets and pulls out the doll that says the alphabet and sings little Chinese Assyrian songs. "And," said Peter Potato Blossom Wishes, "you have to listen close up with your ears and be nice when you're listening." "In the village of Hatpins that the wind nearly blew away forever," said Hat-Track the horse. And Peter Potato Blossom Wishes skipped away down from the little red shanty, skipped down the street, and then began walking slow and saying to herself, "I love Hat-Track the horse like a granduncle. His eyes look like lightning bugs lighting up the summer night coming out of two little doors." And that is how Ragbag Mammy kept her secret while the wind blew away the village of Hatpins. And of course, we don't know how she kept the secret. But we do know that she did, and we still don't know what's inside of that ragbag. This is Dan Scholes for the Folktale Project. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Overcast, anywhere you like to get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at Folktale Project. You can find us on Auto Radio, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere you like to listen. And you can always head over to folktaleproject.com, where you'll find a new story waiting for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. As always, thank you so much for listening.